Hardys and Hardos, we are back with an actual episode again. Spinny, man, it's been since what? Early November, probably? It's been
It's been a
months.
hot minute.
Hot minute, man. We got so much to talk about. We just had to do it in an actual podcast episode this time. So, Spinny, let's just hear from Jack, huh?
Let's get it.
All right, y'all. To start episode 112, we are going to be drafting NBA Contenders. Spinny and I are each going to pick 5 teams. We'll see who has the best set of 5 teams in terms of contending for the NBA title. So, Spinny, who do you want? I'll let you have first pick if you really want it.
No, I want you to have it, Bus. That's my
You
gift
want me
to
to
you.
have it? Okay. Well, since you're letting me have it, I'm taking the OKC Thunder to start this draft. I don't know if that's a hot take or not. Obviously, they've been killing it, but I tend to lean defending champion if they're still playing well, which the Celtics are. So, from that standpoint, I'm a little surprised that I am taking the Thunder, but they just beat them head-to-head the other day. 17-2 at home and 13-4 on the road. They're getting it done both at home and on the road. So I love teams that do that. They have good defensive metrics, good offensive metrics. They have the role players now in Hardenstein and Caruso, all these guys who go with their studs. Obviously, the biggest concern with the Thunder would be the health of Chet Holmgren. To be a true NBA contender come playoff time, he's going to have to be healthy and on the floor. So I'm going to take Thunder, pick 1.
Chet should be back pretty soon.
He should be back soon, yes.
That 8 to 10 week injury is on about 9 weeks right now. So
Yep.
we're liking that. I think the him and Hardenstein combo in the playoffs is going to be a big thing they didn't have last year. Just more big depth and a guy who's actually good. He's been balling for them. So, well, Bus, I'll take the defending champs then.
Take your squad. I gave it to you.
Hard not to take them at this point. There's really no one else I'm more confident in than OKC, although I do think there's a couple teams in the East I'm actually a tiny, tiny bit scared of, unlike last year.
Really? So that means with my second pick 3, I'm going to have to go the Cleveland Cavaliers, which I'm assuming that was the team you were alluding to. 33-4 to start the season. That's insane, averaging 123 points per game, which leads the NBA. 13-3 on the road, 20-1 Spinny at home. So obviously they're going to need to stay healthy, which I feel like has been an issue for them in the past. But they have Garland, Mobley, Allen, Spida. They have all those guys healthy for the playoff run. This could be a legit team for sure. So I'm going to take the Cavs.
I like that. They scared me the second most in the East, and that is just because the team I'm about to pick next. Well, do I pick this team next? I don't know. This is a hard one.
This is a hard one now.
There's a team in the West I really want to pick right now.
So we're in agreement. Well. Those are the top 3, though. Thunder.
I mean, on paper, yeah.
On paper,
yeah.
Okay.
I'll take the Knicks. I trust Brunson a little more than Mitchell. A little bit more. Not much, because we've seen it from Mitchell, but we've seen it much more recently from Brunson in the playoffs, as far as what you can do. I think the supporting casts are similar. I think if beating the Celtics is the thing, then the Knicks mash up much better from a defensive perspective than Cleveland does.
For sure.
And I also think Cat Porzingis is a very fun matchup as well. I'd love to see. Because I don't think Porzingis can push Cat around. Not that he's going to push Jared Allen or Mobley around, but he's more long and outside and athletic and doing those type of things against those guys, which he can't do against Cat. And I don't think he's going to push Cat around either. So I'm a little bit excited if that ends up happening, just to see that matchup. But Knicks C's.
Yeah, as of right now, I mean, that would be, if the playoffs started today, that would be your second round matchup, 2 versus 3.
Yeah.
So that would be exciting for sure. I am going to go to a team who is actually currently fifth in their conference. I'm going to take the Dallas Mavericks next. Team who made the NBA Finals last year. They still have Luka. They still have Kyrie. Those dudes have been battling injuries this year. So that's why, to me, their record is a little worse right now. But they still have that tremendous cast of role players that they traded for last year that made them the run. So I think this team just has the chemistry. They got the superstars. We both know Luka and Kyrie are going to be unguardable in playoffs as always. So I gotta rock with the Mavs here. It might be a hot take, but
All right, then give me Denver. They still got Jokic. I'm still
that's what I was
confident
thinking too.
in him as the best player. For the record, I would have taken Dallas in that spot.
Okay.
I think we've seen what they can do in the playoffs, and um, even without Kyrie and Luka for the last little bit, like PJ Washington has shown some things. They have some depth, and they're long and lanky, and everyone can shoot. And I like what I've seen from them. As long as they can guard, I think they have the matchups though to beat Oklahoma City, who's probably the team to beat for sure in the West. So Denver, it is for me. Back to you.
Oh man.
This is when it
Now
gets
it's getting
fun.
tough.
This is when
This
it
is
gets
getting
fun.
tougher. Oh, you know what? I might get a little risky here, just because I know they have assets to move. They've been tremendous so far this season. Is it crazy that I'm taking the Houston Rockets here, Spinny? I don't know. It might be, but I'm taking them. They're 16-8 in the conference to start the season. Obviously, they're very good on the defensive end. They just got a bunch of guys. They're very, very deep. Like I said, they're loaded with assets in terms of picks and young players. That if they wanted to get a disgruntled star at the deadline who's looking for a new team, that this team could definitely be in the mix for a new star. So I'm picking the Rockets. It's a little hot take because this is a team full of guys who have no playoff experience, right? So that's why it's a hot take. But take them.
Yeah, are we picking to win the championship? Was that the question?
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
remember. Oh,
True
well,
NBA
in that case,
contenders.
then you're an idiot because Houston's never winning the championship.
But to me, I'm looking at the rest of this list, right? It's like, okay, we got the Magic as the 4 seed right now. Do I really? That's the same kind of argument, right? It's a
Same.
bunch of
Yeah.
guys with no playoff experience. The
What's the
Bucks.
next team after that? That's the team I'm taking right here. Milwaukee.
You're taking the Bucks? Okay.
Yeah, I think they are in play for the Jimmy Butler situation very
Oh, that'd be
heavily,
big time for them.
and I think that would be very big time for them. A guy that can
Yes.
guard, and if Jimmy's going there after all this shit that's happened, he's gonna go into ball out mode, Jimmy. Like what you're getting post trade Jimmy for at least a year. You're getting like, holy shit, this guy's good.
Dame, Jimmy, and Giannis. That's instantly. They're probably in that Cavs and Knicks tier. To be honest with you.
Yeah. So I think that's a situation that could bring them up, but it's also Giannis. There's nothing from Middleton really. You're just getting a whole lot of mid,
Yeah,
and
he's
he
old.
can't guard anybody, and no one can guard anybody. So I think Jimmy makes sense from that perspective. Now Jimmy and Giannis is a little bit of a weird fit, probably, but I think Jimmy turns into that ball handler situation a little bit more. Giannis off the ball or reverse. I mean, you can pick and roll those guys. There's a lot of stuff you can do. But I think that would be why I'm taking the Bucks.
That makes sense. Should have probably looked at them a little more seriously. They do have Giannis, who has a title on their team, so that always helps.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be a homer here. I have to take the Wolves. I have no idea if you were eyeing them up with your last pick, but
that was my next pick.
I got to make sure I snag them. They made the West Conference Finals. Obviously, we've been struggling this year so far, but we are still a candidate to move players around here at the deadline. I think Julius is definitely very much on the block. Now, what we can get for him that actually helps our chances of win this year, I'm not sure. But I'm just saying that's a interesting point to look at these next couple of weeks because trade deadline is probably about a month away, a little over a month away. So I'm going to go the Wolves. We need to stay healthy. but we have Ant, who we know is going to show up in the playoffs come crunch time. So I'm going to be a homer and take the Wolves here, even after the
I don't think that's
2017
a
start.
homer. I was considering taking them above the Bucks, low key. Those are the two teams I was thinking between. I was hoping I was going to get them. This one's hard. Memphis, I just don't think they have enough horses right now. That's another scenario where they probably need a trade.
Yeah.
Jaw is that guy, and
And
I do
Jimmy
have
said he
faith in
doesn't
him if
want to
he's
go to
healthy.
Memphis.
And Jimmy said he doesn't want to go there. So I don't know what that looks like for them. I'm sorry, I just don't believe in the Lakers. I wish
No,
I did, but I just don't think there's really any
no
shot.
chance. No chance.
Clippers, Warriors, Spurs aren't good enough. The rest of the teams are bad. Okay?
Who do you want, the
East.
Magic or the Grizzlies then?
Magic, I guess. Miami without Jimmy. Who knows what that's going to look like. And then Indiana's a team I've thought about, but I I just don't know if there's any real chance they beat Boston, Cleveland, New York.
Right.
So then it's Detroit, Atlanta, Chicago, teams I want no part of it all. So I guess it really comes down to
I guess it's
Orlando and Memphis. And in that case, I'm going to take Jaw
that's the
as
right
the
pick.
best player
That's the
and the
right
most
pick.
game-changing playoff player. So we'll take Memphis. I didn't want any part of any of those teams. I don't know. I do think those 9 teams. I don't even know if I'm counting Houston in that either. I would take Wolves, Dallas, Cavs, Thunder, Bucks, Denver, Seas, Knicks. I think those 8 teams are
Those are
the
the
only
top eight.
ones with actual realistic chances to win the championship
Yeah.
right now.
No, I totally agree with you. The only thing with Memphis, I would say, is injuries. Obviously, Jaws constantly hurt. Jaren Jackson, Desmond Bain, all these guys
Mm-hmm.
have battled injuries a lot throughout their careers. So I think if that big three there is healthy come playoff time, Grizzlies have enough star power and depth in terms of role players to potentially make a run. So I think that was the right pick for you there. In fact, I
I just
maybe even
don't.
should have picked them over the Rockets for that matter.
I don't know how good those guys are though. Like
Right,
we saw Desmond Bain 3 years ago be good, but like
right.
is Desmond Bain good? I don't know. I
I
haven't
don't. Yeah,
really seen it on a throughout the whole season level. I mean, right now, 29 games played this year. He's about 16 a game. Jaw 21 a
yeah.
game in his 21 games. Jaren Jackson 22 a game. Like, are those 3 actually good enough to be on that
Right.
competition level? I I just haven't seen it this year. I don't think.
So I got, in summary, I have the Thunder, the Cavs. Who was my third pick? Dallas, the Rockets, and the T Wolves are my 5 picks.
Nick sees Denver Bucks and Memphis for me. Let us know, Hardies and Hardos, who you think has the better squad. Uh Loki, I think Bucks has the better squad because I think
It's already
Dallas.
admits it.
I think
Come on, Steve. That's
Dallas.
not how you're supposed to do it, man. You got to
I
defend yourself a
know,
little
but
bit.
it's realistic. I mean, I think Dallas is the 5th team, and then there's a gap between them and
Yes,
Denver, Milwaukee, and Minnesota. So I
agreed.
think you got 3 of the top 5. So that probably gives you the
Well,
lock dub.
that's typically how it works when you let me get the first pick, Spinny. So
Yeah, I suppose you're right. I just didn't
hey,
want to
I,
not
I
pick my
I
C,
offered it
so
to you,
I just
man.
had to give
So
it to you. You're right.
all right, we're in agreement though that last comment here is the Mavs on the same tier as those other teams, or is it OKC, Boston, Cleveland, New York, all in their own tier, or is New York not even in that tier?
It's
What do you think?
Boston and OKC, and then
Their
it's
own tier.
Cleveland, Knicks, Dallas, and then it's Denver, Bucks, Wolves.
I agree with that. That's a good way to put it.
I think
I agree
there's
with that.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. That was our draft. We are now, before we dive into this wildcard playoff round, we are going to predict some NFL awards. Some of these are still interesting races for sure. Others are basically said and done. Let's just start with the big one, huh, Spinny? MVP. Who's getting it?
It's Josh Allen. Done more with less, or done the same with less, or done slightly less with much, much more less, I
Yes.
think is the realistic actually where it is. Lamar's stats a little bit better, but Lamar has a guy who, in normal years, would be an MVP candidate at the running back position on his own team.
1,900
Josh
yards.
Allen. Josh Allen's second best player is his left tackle. So I think that
left tackle.
I think
Hey, James Cook, give him
uh,
some respect, man.
yeah, James Cook is fine, but Derrick Henry's like almost twice as good.
Way
You
back,
know,
yes.
I mean, honestly. So it's like, okay, wide receiver room is definitely Baltimore for sure. Like Amari Cooper makes it a little bit closer, but I mean, I still think Flowers and Bateman and Cooper are
Flowers
probably
is
all
better.
three on the same level.
Yeah.
Flowers is better, but the health isn't there.
Well,
Bateman and Cooper at this point in their career are probably on the same level. And then you got Andrews and Likely as well for
yes.
Baltimore, who are both better than Buffalo's tight end. So I think that's what it comes down to.
Yep, minus 300 for Allen, plus 240. Long shot, plus 1,800 for Saquon, plus 2,000 Joe Burrow. Obviously, Joe Burrow had insane stats this year. His team didn't even make the playoffs, so he obviously is not deserving of MVP. Sorry, Joe Burrow. Also, I want to mention for those that do think Joe Burrow should be MVP just because of the stats, think about how many games they were losing because their defense sucks. Obviously, that gives Burrow, Jamar Chase, these guys more opportunity to put up stats since they're throwing the ball constantly.
No, yeah, for sure. I also think if Lamar hadn't won last year, Lamar would probably be winning right now.
Yes,
as well.
100% agree with that. Yes.
Because what he's doing is crazy. Like Lamar's quarterback
100%.
season is like one of the best of all time. Like
He's
it's in the same category as Brady's 50 touchdowns and Manning's 55 touchdowns. Like that's the category of quarterback seasons we're looking at from him.
I'm talking 41 touchdowns, only 4 picks, like 800 some rushing yards to go with 4,000 passing yards. Ridiculous season.
Yeah.
OPOY. Saquon sitting here at minus 5,000. Derrick Henry, Jamar Chase.
We don't have to talk about this award. It's a lock.
It's over.
Which
Saquon.
Crazy that a wide receiver wins the Triple Crown and is third in OPOY. That's crazy. Yeah. But it's fact.
Yeah,
it's Saquon's
crazy,
award.
Saquon, 10th player ever to hit 2K, and he did it in 16 games too, so it's definitely his award. DPOY, I think this one is very much wide open still. TJ Watt, minus 130. Pat Surtain, plus 150. Myles Garrett, plus 950. Our boy, Andrew Van Ginkel, comes in at 4th at plus 2,200. Little long shot odds there.
So you're picking Van Gink is what I heard?
No, I'm not, but I should.
What? Come on, bud.
You're not going to pick him. Be
Get
real.
a little greedy.
I do think.
Get a little greedy.
I do think a even longer shot here, who is not going to win it because we just talked about how bad that defense is Trey Hendrickson's NFL sack leader this year is at plus 660. 6,600. That's interesting odds there. But again, I don't think he didn't make the playoffs. Their defense as a whole is terrible. I think I'm going to give it to the favorite here, just barely. TJ Watt. His team is good. The whole defense is good. This is a dude that's always in the mix for DPOY. Pat Surtain, I guess, has second best odds, but in my head, it's either Myles Garrett or TJ Watt that's going to win this award.
Every 10 years, a quarterback wins it. It's time.
Take him.
PS2, taking him.
I like it. I love Pat Surtain, so that'd be sweet.
I think cornerback should win it more, by the way. I think it's...
Absolutely. In today's NFL, yes.
I do think it's the second hardest position in the sport to play. I honestly do. Because you're covering the most athletic players in the
quarterback.
Yeah, quarterback.
Yeah.
It's covering the fastest dudes on the field, and you're always having to be reactive to them. Crazy position.
NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. Jaden Daniels obviously is going to win this award, minus 1,000. I just want to quickly mention, though, how does Brian Thomas Jr. have the same odds as Caleb Williams when he had a way better season? Both plus 50,000. I feel like he should have better odds than Caleb Williams, but that's just a nitpick of mine.
I also just think it's so over that those odds don't even
matter.
Over. If you're betting that, you're a dumbass.
Daniels is winning this. You're dumb if you're taking anyone else. Yes. Brock Bowers, though, shout out to him. Insane rookie year. First team All-Pro as a rookie. That's incredible. I think this one is probably over, too. The defensive rookie of the year. Jared Verse
Yep.
comes in at minus 1,000. Insane season for him. Quinion
Classic
Mitchell's
Rams behavior.
Yes, for sure. Quinion
Plus,
Mitchell's the
he's
only
an
real
absolute
chance
dog
here.
at draft.
Yeah, I mean that was like a middle round of the first round too, right? He kind of fell a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Verse, he's probably got that one locked up. What?
Give me Sammy freaking D for this next one, please.
Let's go.
I don't even care that.
I don't care
locked,
either. I'm
that
taking
Joey's winning it. Give me Sammy freaking D for this one because this man.
Vegas says it's locked. Minus 4,000 for Joe Burrow for comeback player of the year. Sam Darnold's at plus 230. I'm taking him because I don't care if Joe Burrow had a little ankle injury and wrist injury last year and he missed some games. If he was healthy, he was going to put up those numbers. We're talking Sam Darnold, a guy who didn't even start last year and almost has 40 touchdowns. Like,
yeah,
to me, he's more deserving of the award than Joe Burrow. No offense, Joe Burrow. Coach of the year, we're taking our guy here too, right?
Yeah, I think it's our guys. I think that going in, the over-unders right on what the teams are going to be between him and Dan. I think that's basically who it's locked between at this point. And I just think we were expected to be so much worse. And they're seen as having a much better roster than us across the board, which health-wise they probably do. So I'm going to give it to KFC.
Yep, KFC is minus 1,000 odds. Dan Campbell plus 575. Andy Reid plus 750. Very interesting that he'd be third in my eyes when they're doing exactly what everyone thought they would be doing. I think Jim Harbaugh deserves a little more respect at plus 2,000. I think he should get a little better odds than that.
One thing I will say, there is a history a little bit of this happening with the Comeback Player of the Year award. Brady won it in 2009 after the ACL tear. Stafford won it in 2011. Yes. Manning won it in 2012. Like, there's kind of a history of
That's a good point.
These even really great quarterbacks winning the award after being hurt. I mean, Andrew Luck in 2018. I mean, hell, Joe Burrow won it in 2021. So he's already
well, there we go. He doesn't need a second one. Come on.
Yeah. 2-time Comeback Player of the Year, Joey B.
That would be ridiculous.
Give it to Sam.
Give it to Sam. Give it to Sam. Come on. Also, quick shout out, Justin Jefferson, unanimous first team All-Pro. That was announced this morning. Van Ginkel made the second team. So shout out to those dudes. Our long snapper made it as well.
First team as well.
First team,
and
yes,
sir. Let's go, dog.
Let's get it. All right. Playoff Spinny. It's time. Like we did last year, we're going to do kind of a weighted scoring system for the playoffs. We'll figure out, we don't have that exactly nailed down now, but we'll figure out how we're going to do it. Probably 1 point for these wild card rounds, 2 points for the next round, and so on and so forth. So, Spinny, which conference do you want to start in? I'll let you pick.
Let's start in the AFC. Let's start with the fun side.
AFC. Let's start with the 2-7 matchup. That is the Bills hosting the Broncos, where they are a 9-point favorite. They play on Sunday at noon. Spinny, is there any chance the Broncos can pull off this upset?
Yeah, I think so. I do think there's a chance. I do think this is going to be a close game. I think, Bills -9 is too much. I do think it's going to be a 7-ish point game, 3-7. I get why they go +9 with the performances we've seen from Allen in the playoffs, but there is scenarios where Denver's defense gets the quarterback very well, and they're going to have to run this contain situation with Josh. I think that's the better way to beat Josh Allen. It's similar to Pat Mahomes, where it's like, make him beat you in the pocket straight up. Make him do that. Don't let him get out. Don't let him, and not that Josh is a bad pocket quarterback by any means. He's not. But the plays, the big splash plays they generate when he's outside the pocket is much worse than trying to make them sit in the pocket, take the checkdowns, get first downs, make the easy throws. I think that that's more where you're trying to get Josh, and then hopefully getting your pass rushers up the middle to get some pressure on him, while the ends are more doing a contain type situation. I think that's the method for beating Josh, is pass rushers staying in their lanes and making him pass in the pocket.
Yes, absolutely. I totally agree there.
That being said, I'm picking the Bills.
Bills, yes. I'm still taking the Bills. Their rush offense, I think they're just going to be able to keep the ball out of the Broncos' hands for the majority of this
You
game.
think they're going to run the ball in Denver? I don't think they're going to run the ball in Denver. I
You don't
think
think so?
that's the other thing. I don't think they're going to run the ball in Denver. Denver's run D is good, and yeah, I mean let's. Sorry, I didn't have this up. Yeah, they are giving up 3.9 yards a carry and
Oh,
95
yeah.
yards a game
Yeah, that's pretty
total
good.
on
Yeah.
the season. Really good rush D. Um, Whereas pass D, they're giving up almost 7 yards completion, 220 a game, 22 touchdowns, 15 picks. So good pass D too, but not quite as good as the run D for Denver. So I'm I'm a little worried about the Bills' offense, but obviously it's Josh Allen, and we've seen what he does in the playoffs, even against good defenses. So I'm not
Right.
worried.
Yeah, just got to take the home team here. Let's go to the 3-6 matchup now. Ravens hosting the Steelers. Little divisional matchup here. 9.5 point spread. Your Ravens are favored. I also think that's a ridiculous spread considering these are division rivals, right? Like, I'm anticipating a close game here. I'm still going to take the Ravens at home. Lamar Jackson, MVP caliber player. Derrick Henry, 1,900 yards. I just can't pick against this offense.
What kind of spread would you give me here, Bus?
Oh, of course, Spinny's coming in here with the spreads. I should have known this was coming.
Like
Okay, let's
6?
see. Let's see.
I know 7's too greedy, even though I want it.
I think I can deal with 6 because yeah, I mean that's fair enough. It's nine and
Okay,
a half.
6.5 then. 6.5. Let's just
Six and a
make it
half.
so. Yep,
Yeah,
six and
that
a
makes
half.
the most sense. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, I will take the Steelers plus 6.5. I think that's a doable
I'm
thing. Gives
scared
you
of
the
that line,
touchdown,
honestly.
but
I'm
anything under
really
a
scared of
touchdown is me. I don't know. I'm just scared of Lamar's past playoff performances, but Lamar has never had a player like Derrick Henry in the playoffs either. And
that.
we've
Right.
seen second half playoff performances by Derrick Henry. I mean, he saw that the year that the Titans made the AFC Championship, like we saw what Derrick Henry can do in the playoffs. Like it's not
Yes.
going to change, and the Ravens are going to bust it down your throat, and it's going to be late in the third, early in the fourth, and he's going to go nuts. Um, so I do think the Ravens are going to win this game. My caveat and the reason I'm taking the Steelers with the points is Lamar's past playoff performances. We have not seen great Lamar Jackson playoff performances.
That's true.
Like
So
one really good playoff performance, three really bad playoff games, and like two like mid fine playoff games. That's been Lamar's career basically.
yeah, I agree. Not to mention WR1 Zay Flowers already ruled out for the game.
Yep.
So that will play a factor as well. Last AFC game, 4-5 matchup. Texans hosting the Chargers. Chargers are favored by 3 points on the road. This is where I'm taking my first road team. I'm going to take the Chargers. I love their rush game. I absolutely hate how the Texans have been playing this last month and a half of football. They're just too injured. They don't have enough weapons on offense. They're too one-dimensional right now. And I just think Jim Harbaugh is a better coach, and they have the better quarterback. Quarterback goes a long way in the playoffs, so I'm taking the Chargers.
You think they have the better quarterback? You think Justin Herbert's locked better than CJ Stroud right now?
I would accept an argument that Stroud is better, but considering he didn't improve in any area, which isn't uncommon for a sophomore quarterback, he didn't improve at all this year. I'm still giving it to Justin Herbert, who I've seen throw for 4,500 plus yards in past seasons. So I'm taking Herbert. It is close though. I mean, even
Yeah,
the coach too. I mean, D'Amico's an outstanding coach as well. So it's
yeah,
not like there's a big gap either in that regard. But
no. I just Jim Harbaugh. That's the reason I'm picking the Chargers in this game. The fact that I'm picking the Los Angeles Chargers in a playoff game
in a
right now
playoff game, we're
is
psycho.
crazy,
Yes.
given our Chargers lifetime history. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean Jim's just a great. I mean, like I know this is gonna be wild, and maybe Bill at North Carolina will change this year. But any level, you told me I got a football team. It could be Pee Wee to NFL. You have no idea what it's gonna be, but you have a football team, and you have to pick a coach for it. I'm picking Jim Harbaugh. Because I think any level,
He's one of them.
man has been an outstanding football
Yeah.
coach and built teams from absolute garbage to winning. The Niners were the worst roster in the league. We were laughing
terrible.
about the Niners roster when he took it.
Yep.
And Michigan was like, is Michigan ever going to even be close to competing again? And he gets them back to winning an egg. So it's just some crazy stuff from him. So I
Not
think
to mention
that
dubbing
alone
Ohio
is the
State
main
like
reason.
every year, dubbing Ohio State.
Yeah, never losing to Ohio State. In consistent years when Ohio State had better teams than them.
Yes, exactly. All right, I guess we'll jump to the NFC now. By the way, those last two games are your Saturday games, Hardee's and Hardos. We are at 3:30 on Sunday. We got the Eagles, 2-seed, hosting the Packers. It does sound like Jordan Love is going to be playing. Jalen Hurts also was ruled officially active today as well. So we should see both starting quarterbacks in this game, which will help. I don't think it's really going to matter from the Packers side of things. I think the Eagles are for sure going to win this game. Their offense is just way too good. I don't anticipate the Packers being able to slow them down at all. I mean, this is also a team that Saquon hasn't, right? But they still have a lot of guys that made the Super Bowl only a couple of years ago. This is a team that knows how to play in the playoffs as well. So I have to take the Eagles here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to take the Eagles as well, but I'm going to go a different front with this. I'm telling you what, I'm going to root for the Packers in this game. Shout out to my Packer fan friends, Jordan, Kenna, Brady. Y'all guys have turned me around. And I don't hate the Pack. I hate this Eagles team more than I hate the Packers. I do. I dislike Nick Sirianni 1,000 times more than Matt LaFleur. Jalen Hurts went to Alabama, so Lord knows I can't like him.
You went to Oklahoma too, bro. Come on.
The only Eagle I like is Saquon, and I still am bitter about them.
You really don't like A.J. Brown?
Fine, kind of complaining a little bit for me. But, I mean, all wide receivers are complaining, but he's a little bit extra. I love A.J. Brown as a player. He's sick, and I think he's a great player. It's just been a weird year for him. And then Devontae Smith went to Alabama, too. So, you know, I mean, it's just like, how am I going to like these Bama guys? And their fans are trash. And Packers fans are awesome.
Trash. Fans are
Packers fans are awesome. We're at Lambeau. I'm at Lambeau 2 years ago. New Year's Day. Vikes are getting their asses kicked. We're just absolutely getting shit stomped. And Packers fans are just bringing us beers. It's like, hey, sorry you had to come all the way here for this. Just like Eagles fans like throwing shit at people and just being dicks. And Packers fans out here just making you feel good after you beat them. So I'm going to be rooting for the Packers, but I think they're going to have a tough one in this game. And as a Vikes fan, I can't believe I just uttered that last minute and a half, but it's just where it is.
Hey, actually, I could back that up a little bit, too. We just played out in Green Bay. Our Bethany Lutheran Vikings, we just played out in Green Bay. We got a tour of Lambeau Field, and all the Packers personnel and staff there that helped us out with the tour, just insanely nice people, and they didn't care at all that we were Vikings fans. So super nice people, and I'm definitely with you from that standpoint. Screw the Eagles fans, man. They're the absolute worst. All Philadelphia fans, not just Eagles, Sixers, all of them. The worst fans in sports. Okay, we got Sunday Night Football. The Bucks are hosting the Commanders. 3-point favorite for the Bucks here. Spinny, I'll let you go first.
I might have to flip my Al Travis show prediction.
Okay.
Rookie quarterbacks on the road in playoff games since 1990 are 5-19. So wow. I am very hesitant to pick the Commanders on the road. And I picked the Bucks on the Al Travis show.
I was going to say, yeah.
But, Jaden Daniels is good, Bus.
Do it then.
It really is.
Do it then.
I'm just kidding. I'm teasing you. I'm taking the Bucks. Bucks are winning. Better team at home. Rookie quarterback on the road. Baker Mayfield, 10 touchdowns, 3 picks in his playoff career. Has performed very well in the playoffs, even when he wasn't as good of a quarterback as I think he is right now. I think they have talent all across. They're more talented than the Commanders, especially on the defensive end. It's going to be a good game. This might be the second best one. I think our Vikes probably have the best game of the wild card.
Probably a high scoring game here. I bet.
Yeah, but this is going to be a very good one. It's going to be very fun. I'm going to take the Bucks.
I'm expecting upper 20s for both teams here. This will probably be a pretty high scoring team. Both defenses are kind of middle of the pack, little below average defenses. So it's all, obviously, like you said, it's all going to come down to how rookie quarterback Jayden Daniels performs on the road here in his first playoff setting. It all comes down to that for the Commanders. The Bucs are the safer pick. I'm taking them. Like you said, Baker's been good in the playoffs so far, and he is just his career arc is just something, dude. I don't even know what to say.
Freaking love it. It's very Jared Goff too. Both those guys love the career arcs they're on.
And Mike Evans, man, I love rooting for a dude like that. 11 straight 1,000-yard seasons. Just that dude is insane. A guy that probably was never once in any season a top 5 receiver, but has always been a top 10 receiver, basically. Right?
Yeah.
Basically. Just to be that
just
consistent.
Hanging out.
He's going to
just
show
hanging
up
out in that 5 to 10 area.
Yeah.
And I think Baker too had so many haters that thought he was a bad
so many,
leader person.
I was one of them. I was one of them.
Ooh, we got a Baker hater here. We love that.
That's why
I was in Baker's corner.
Credit.
I really was. I've always felt like he's the most member of the team quarterback in the NFL in the way of he's one of the he's a bro. Baker's a bro. You can just see it from man's running 25 yards down the field to throw a block on a freaking run.
Yeah.
It's just
he's an amazing teammate for sure.
You just see it in the celebration and the stuff. He just is a lot of times in the NFL, and it's okay. There's just a little bit of a difference between quarterbacks and the rest of everybody else. And it's just fun to see someone have success who isn't quite in that mold.
Yeah, I agree. That's a great point. Monday Night Football, Spinny. Our Minnesota Vikings are traveling to Arizona due to the wildfires out in LA. Prayers up to all those affected. We are now 3-point favorites due to this game being moved. I feel like this is a situation where Minnesota Vikings history-wise, this is going to be an L just because of everything seems to be going our way. Games moved to Arizona, we just lost last week. We were 14-3, one of our best seasons ever. It would just be so Minnesota to lose this game, first round of the playoffs. But I'm taking the Vikings 100% here. I think we're for sure winning now that the game's in Arizona. There's actually a lot of Viking fans that live in Arizona. They travel down there to escape the winter up here. I think that stadium is going to be more purple than the Rams colors. I think we're going to have basically a home field advantage there.
Yeah, I do think it is probably going to be more purple. And see, to me, the most Vikings thing ever is absolutely balling out and winning this game and then going to Detroit and getting shit stomped for a third time.
You're right. That's
what I think is the most
Vikings
you're right.
You're right.
And I'm putting this on the record right now. Hardies and Hardos, write this crap down. If we win this game and go to Detroit next week, I'm picking the Lions. I don't think we're winning that game in Detroit next week. I don't think we have what it takes to beat the Lions.
I hate you, Spinny. You're going to already just talk that down. You want it written down?
Yes.
Hardies and Hardos, can you believe this, man? He's already rooting against his own team.
Not rooting. I just don't think we have it to beat them this year. It's just we just don't. But I'll be rooting. I'll be streaming. I'll be cheering. I'll be doing my thing going for the Vikes. But it needs to be written down and documented that I will pick the Lions next week.
It's going to be a tough one. That's for sure. Hopefully one of these lower seeds could somehow pull off an upset, and then we don't even have to play the Lions. Who would you rather play, Detroit or Philly?
Philly.
Yeah,
I think we can slow Philly down better than we can Detroit. I'm not scared of Jalen Hurts throwing over. I'm not scared of the big play from anyone other than Saquon against Philly. That's the thing.
Right.
Detroit, it's Amon-Ra, Jameson Williams, David Montgomery's back, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta. It's anybody can just take it 80 yards at any point. You're always oh shit, when's it gonna happen? Whereas Philly's more of a dog, 4.5 yards of play, stay ahead of the chains, grind you out type offense, which I think we can be more successful against because we are good at turning the ball over and generating big sack splash plays like that. And I think with that type of defense that we have, it's much easier when you get Philly behind the chains to be successful against them.
Yeah, good point. All right, y'all. Episode 112. I'm glad we're back at it. Spinny, I do have a Q&A, though, to finish us off here.
Ooh, I was hoping you did.
I have two, actually.
Ooh.
We'll start
Let
with
me ask.
not as serious of a question. Deshaun Watson tears his Achilles again. Spinny, should this man ever play a snap in the NFL again?
No, and I think there's a good chance he doesn't. I think there's a good chance the
I agree.
Browns take a quarterback.
I agree. I mean, he was already a candidate to be bought out. I mean, you got to pay that man anyways. Might as well just buy him out,
And
right?
I don't know if any team signed him. I really don't.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, his NFL days, I think, are done, to be honest.
Yeah. Because no one's dealing with that for a backup. Rightfully
Exactly.
so. No one should be dealing with it for a starter. He shouldn't have
Well,
been
he
in the NFL
also
full time anyway. But
he has that ego though, where he's going to be like, "I'm starting if I'm coming here." So like that's why
yeah.
I don't think a team's going to want to deal with that crap.
Well, I don't think even if he was like, "I'll go there to be the backup," I don't think teams would say yes. This is why. Just bad publicity. Bad human.
Well, it officially goes down, in my opinion, as the worst sports contract in history.
Yeah, 230 straight guaranteed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
Unreal. My second question, it is simple. Spinny, tell me now, your Super Bowl winner. Predict it early here.
Chiefs.
As my headline goes, you know who I'm taking.
I just can't pick against them. Sorry.
I can't either, man. I'm picking Chiefs.
Dude, Travis did the same thing last year and then had like the most receiving yards and the most touchdowns he's had in his entire playoff career in one season last playoffs. So like, why would I think that anything else is going to happen and anyone's going to be able to guard Kelsey anyway? Their run game is good. Like
Hollywood Brown's back.
Yeah, Hollywood Brown's going to be back, and their defense is elite, absolutely elite. All three levels, all across the board, elite. So that's how you win.
Yeah, I figured you'd take them. Both of us said last year we will not pick against the Chiefs until they actually lose. Like I just
don't see how you can, unless something despite a Kelsey or Mahomes injury, right? Like
you have to go down picking them. That's for sure. At this point, they're just too good. All right, Hardest Hardos. We'll see. Hopefully, Skull this weekend, man. We got to make it through so we can go dub those Lions. Screw Spinny. Spinny's a hater, man.
Yeah. Let's go dub those lines. Prove me wrong, Vikes. It's just my strat, right? I've picked the Vikes the last 2 times. We got to flip it around. You know how it goes.
Get this dude out here. He did this for the Timberwolves, too, actually.
The most motivational segment on sports shows. The most motivational segment in podcasting right here. KFC's listening. Let's go.
All right, Hardest Hardos. We'll catch y'all next week.
Hug your friends and fam.